What's up everyone, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to another workshop vlog. Today we have a lot of BMWs in the workshop. This one is in for a coilover and the M4 over there is in the workshop for a single midpipe. So this one we are now working on it. Top mounts will be replaced as well, so the rear has been installed already. It's only the front and then we can adjust the height accordingly. We'll install, this car is from a friend of us, so on this car we'll be installing our demo midpipe. So we use the single midpipe on our own F80 and that one will be installed on this car. And after the M4 has been finished, we will also put a M5 on the lift, the new G90. I'll show you. So this is the M5 that we are gonna 3D scan today. It came from Story BMW in Waardenburg. Many thanks that they have allowed us to borrow this car for the 3D scanning. So that's what we're gonna do on this car. It's in for 3D scanning for exhaust. We will start developing the rear muffler for this car. So once that's available, we will of course also develop the rest of the line and then wait for the market to develop a solution to remove the OPF errors. And when that's available, you can of course install the full cap back on these cars. So we now tape the full underside of the car. So it's full with color tape. It looks funny, but it is meant for the 3D scanner to be able to determine what is. So the color is a contrast to the silver and black on the car. And with the colors on the underside of the car, we can check in the scan which part is what. So we of course already checked where we can put the cut for the rear muffler, and somewhere here is already the original dent on the exhaust. Ideally I would like to delete this one as well, but then you get too close to the sensors here and the OPFs here. So if you just want a rear muffler, I think the only option is to cut it here. That's something that we're gonna check if we can do that, and then yeah, see if that works for the rest of the car. Other important part is of course the flanges, and yeah, the sensors need to be on the right place. And of course somewhere around here in the back is also the original bracket for the rear muffler. So that's also necessary. And here is the bracket for the midpipe. So we made them 21 in the front, 22 in the back, because the front wheels are originally in 20-inch and the tire around the wheel, in our opinion, is too big. The rear now matches the front as well, so it's just like an Upsize and Performance like wheel, but in the regular design. So this can also be ordered from us if you're interested. So very happy with how these wheels turned out. We are gonna put them on a G90 M5 very soon, and then of course take a few photos, showcase to you how that looks like. So for this car we also have the original wheels. This car is running JR wheels, but because it's a coilover, we are not entirely sure if the offset of these wheels that has been ordered elsewhere will fit the coilover. So that's what we're gonna see shortly after we put on the shock absorbers. We can put on the wheels. Or tip, if you install a coilover, double check if the wheels are clear from turning. If they are not and they are touching the shock absorber, it may damage the wheel or the shock absorber, and that's of course not what you want. So we're going to check that as well. It's now currently running spacers, but ideally you do not want spacers on these wheels anyway, because these are aftermarket wheels. There we go, we've installed the coilovers and also checked the wheel fitment. So without the spacers it was not possible to run this wheel. It's probably a little bit too wide compared to the offset that this wheel originally has. So the customer already had 12mm spacers, or it's 15, I think 15, and combined with the coilover like this. The front works, the rear is a little bit different story. I think that one will rub, so the customer needs to check what he's gonna do with the wheels. So the coilover allows you to have a sportier ride because the suspension is tailored for a lower ride height. It also gives you a lot of comfort compared to the original suspension. So these cars tend to be a little bit stiff, but because of the coilovers, you get more suspension travel on this ride height, which means even if the car is lower, the car still rides nicely. Haha! This is the spring on the rear. And here you can see the adjustment on the shock absorber. So it's a rebound adjustable, height adjustable here. We already set it up. You can finish the installation here and then put the wheel backs on and test drive it. So here we are on board with the 2 Series. Coilover has been installed, and we already told you the main benefit of coilovers is of course that you get the best balance between lowering and performance, but also comfort. Contradictory to what people think, installing coilovers does not mean that the car will become uncomfortable. If you lower a car on just lowering springs, the car will be compromising the travel on the original shock absorber, even when you change bumps and that kind of stuff. Of course, it's a cost-efficient way to make your car aesthetically lower, but to be honest, a coilover is the best solution to have both worlds in terms of performance, comfort and looks. So this car rides really nicely, comfortable. We set it up in a way that it is still sporty enough, but also daily drivable. But it's a rebound adjustable suspension kit, so the customer can always adjust it towards his liking. So we're gonna drive it around a bit, let it settle, and then bring it to and then we're gonna align it so the customer can get his car back and enjoy the ride. We do hear the car rubbing a little bit, so these wheels were already on the car and they were already rubbing on the original springs. So our advice to the customer is to change these wheels for a proper kit, to a proper set that has been developed for this car. Because on larger bumps, you can definitely hear the car rubbing. So as you can see, the mid-pipe has already been removed, and this is our old mid-pipe which has been on our car and will be put onto the M4. So this is the original mid-pipe. There are 2 secondary cats on there, and of course the center resonator, mid-muffler. The single mid-pipe does not have any of that. This gives a lot deeper sound, and of course because you remove a few of the elements in the exhaust, it will also allow for more sound to pass. Single mid-pipe will allow the exhaust pulses to mix directly, allowing for a more deeper sound to come out of the engine. So on the downpipes we also change the gaskets, of course, which you normally do when we do something to the exhaust, at least for the first time. That's
Ja, nee, ik vind die black.
So there we go. We got new brake pads for the 335i. So this is a workshop kind of vlog. They are working on the X5 AC snitcher. Now making the exhaust tips fit. On this car we had to do some repairs, so we repaired the window mechanism on the left rear. We had to do a diagnostic on the O2 sensors because it had some errors, so we took the computer, connected it to ISTA and walked through the procedure. ISTA says they are all okay, so we just reset them, and then the customers, we also repaired the window washer hose. Then this car is ready to go. So put the brake pads on. The brake pads on the BMW calipers. So these are the Hawk Performance HPS 5.0, and they should give a better feel on this car. So on the rear we are also installing new brake pads on the Brembo calipers. Customer complained that the original pads on these brakes did not have the right feel. So what we are doing is replace them. They were almost done anyway, so maybe you can see it. There's not much left. So I'm sure that will bring the car to life again. There we go, we are finished with the 335i. Brake pads has been changed, of course, washer fluids. Window mechanism, and we are now testing the brakes. So of course, brake pads need to be run in before you really use them. But they already feel a lot better than what was on the car. The bite is a little bit better, so that's a plus. Lovely, yeah. Brake pedal feels really natural, and if you push it further, it really has some braking power. Today we are back with a BMW M2 from the G87 generation. Lovely car. This car already has a few mods like the Akrapovic rear muffler, and today we are gonna fix the stands a little bit. So welcome back to another car in our workshop. This car already has adaptive shock absorbers installed from the factory, but the stands on these cars is just a tad too tall. So the customer wants the car a little bit lower. He's not from modifying his car a lot. The exhaust was already on this car when he bought this car from the dealership, but the stands on this car is just a little bit too high. So to fix that, we are going to drop the car just a little bit, and for that we are choosing a height adjustable spring kit from Cobra suspension. It's not because this customer wants the car slammed. We want the car to be adjusted at approximately 50 mm or 20 mm lowering. However, we want to keep the flexibility to adjust the ride height afterwards if the customer wants the car a little bit high or a little bit lower. What is the height adjustable spring kit? So the height adjustable spring kit is a spring perch, spring, and of course you need the original shock absorber as well to showcase you how that works. But since they are still on the car, I'll explain it to you by word. So on these cars, when they are fairly new, a lot of customers want to keep the adaptive suspension so you can adjust the ride comfort from the computer on board. When you choose comfort or sport, the car will change its ride quality. And to be able to run a height adjustable spring kit on the original shock absorber, you will need to modify the shock absorber. So the traditional way to change the shock absorbers to a height adjustable one is of course installing a coilover, but that will of course also alter the way how the computer works. And to prevent that, height adjustable spring kits have been developed for these cars. And to maintain a certain kind of comfort and sportiness, the spring rates have been chosen accordingly to match the original spring rates from the car. So it will not be a super bouncy ride, whatever. Of course, you will compromise it a little bit by lowering the car on the original shock absorber, but with the new bump stops, the car will still feel and ride a lot better than original. To finish off the stance of the car, we're also going to install spacers. That's something what the customer wanted on this car, of course, with the mainly for the looks, so that's what we're going to install as well. For the perfect stance and the perfect ride quality, we would always suggest choosing a wider wheel that matches the fenders, so your scrub radius does not get compromised. There we go, the car has been lowered on the Cobra suspension height adjustable kit. 20mm front, 20mm rear, 12mm spacers front and rear. Because this car is running the Michelin tires, it was not necessary to run the clearance kit on this car. The clearance kit is usually necessary on cars with original wheels, spacers and Pirelli tires. Since this car does have the Michelin tires, we are happy that this car does not need the clearance kit, because we want to keep the wheel linings as original as possible. Looks very nice. It's OEM plus, nothing too much, just like the customer wanted. So because this is a very mild drop, the car rides similar to the stock suspension. The adaptive suspension keeps working like it should be, and yeah, very happy with the results. Here we go, we are back inside our workshop. Another week full with nice projects. I want to thank everyone for trusting our experience and our quality. Very happy with the results that we have done so far again in this vlog. Ending with a nice BMW M2 G87 on the Cobra suspension, height adjustable springs. I want to thank you guys for watching, like and subscribe, and see you on the next video.